Hi everybody, and welcome back to another vlog. This is the other one that tied in the last poll, namely the vlog about what I'm up to next. And what I'm up to next is ba ba ba. Why was that like very close to puppy power? The opposite kind of puppy power. Maybe the cousin of puppy power. Kitty power! We're going to be crowdfunding on BackerKit for me for the first time, both crowdfunding and on BackerKit. My first indie physical release game magazine anthology for Magical Cats. So, if you've been following me for a while, if you've been on the road with me for the last 6 years, then you might remember that 6 years ago, I started the journey as a game designer and published my very first ever game, Verhext Nochmal. It's okay if you can't pronounce it, nobody can. I've made peace with it. Verhext Nochmal is a pun in German. It's a play on the phrase verdammt nochmal, which means damn it, and the term verhexen, which means to cast a hex on something or to curse something. So technically, it straight up translates to curses, which is fully a phrase and something I could have used, but I didn't think of. So now we have Verhext Nochmal. And Verhext Nochmal is a magical cat game where you play as the magical cats who are familiars to witches in a coven. And there are all kinds of different witches. There are kitchen witches, lunar witches, solar witches, green witches, ocean witches, so many types of witches. 8, actually, specifically 8 types of witches. And then 8 playable pre-made PCs, which are playable cats that you can play, which of course you can always change. You can change the names, you can change the details of their stats, like of narratively what they mean. There's a lot of room for your own creativity in this game, and I designed it specifically to be both fun for veteran players of indie TTRPGs, but also an easy game for you to pick up if it's your very first time, because all it uses is a d6 and there's a very simple structure and some built-in mechanics to help you with your first narrative. So it's also great for beginner GMs. Verhext Nochmal, the system, has spawned a bunch of hacks and also a couple expansions, so to say. So some of the more popular hacks are, for example, Midwestern Moms. That's actually, I think, definitely the most popular hack, which just uses the system, has nothing to do with magical cats. But if you've ever wanted to play a Midwestern mom, I highly recommend giving it a try. There's also some really cool actual plays that people have done using it, which is very cool. There's also Verhext the Halls, which is a holiday-themed game in the system, where you play as a bunch of different holiday-themed mythical characters and animals trying to save the holiday from disaster. And then Verhext Nochmal itself, like I said, has expansions, 2 of which came out, or both of which came out last year. One is Kitchen Kitten Adventures, which was made by for the Tiny Setting Jam. So it has a whole new setting and one new playable character with a new little type of stat, because the new little character is Marinella, and Marinella's just a kitten to a baby witch. So she's too little for stats, and she plays the game with her rolls all straight, and she gets into her own brand of hijinks, of which there is an entire new event table for the setting, which takes place entirely in your coven's kitchen at home. And then there's one that you guys here on YouTube are probably more familiar with, Meow You See Me, which you watched me design a couple of months ago here. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should go check it out. It was part of my design marathon, which is always a little fun experiment for me to give myself. And that one was to design a game inspired by a movie I had seen for Halloween that year, which I had seen The Conjuring. But I'd also recently seen Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which I also love. And I was like, what if a necromancer and a magician misunderstood each other a little bit and then became roommates? And then what if their cat familiars also became roommates? And then we had the birth of Mudini, the hammy musicians. Yes, the musicians. The puns just won't end. They possess you like in The Conjuring. And then there's Mudini, the magician's assistant cat, who can't actually do magic, but can do magic. You know what I mean? And then there's the necromancer's familiar, Circe, who is a very serious sorcerer's cat. And they have their own setting with their own catastrophe table. I'm telling you, the puns start coming and they don't stop coming. So like with Kitchen Adventures, you can plug in the playable character cats and their types of magic to the settings of the other game modules. So you can basically take all of the cats from the base game and have them be a part of you playing the setting and catastrophe table from Kitchen Adventures or from Meow You See Me. You could take Circe and Mudini and just add them to the coven and have them be part of the Kitchen Adventures or have them be part of the base game. Everything is completely compatible back and forth. They're just basically expansions. So after doing Meow You See Me, I was like, I love this game so much. I love Verhext Nochmal so much. It is so dear to my heart and it means so much to me. And it was born from like a lot of very like sentimental thoughts and feelings and memories, and also the desire to design a game, period. And then the desire to design a game that I thought beginners and families would be able to also play together without boring or alienating people who play grittier games, who play maybe more complex storytelling games. And I think I hit a good sweet spot because it's my most popular game to date. And I've gotten to see and hear from so many amazing people telling me their stories of playing it and how they played it. And I've gotten to see a lot of people play it, which is really great. And then I thought, I can kind of write this game forever. But then also, why wait for forever? You know, I knew that I wanted to celebrate the Verhext Nochmal anniversary by revamping, like creating the second edition, going through, making sure that it's neater, it's tidier, the mechanics are cleaner, making sure there's an official way to play with 2 players and to play solo, introduce solo mechanic for the game, because I felt like it's such a fun world to play in, and it might be nice to pick up and just kind of play with a little bit yourself as well. And so I was like, well, let's just see what I can come up with. And what I came up with was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 settings and new cats, new areas of magic. So 17, 18 full hacks or full adventure modules for Verhext Nochmal. I did pare it down. Some of those will not be releasing with the anthology. Some of those I will be writing and perfecting and then releasing as their own bundles or zines in the future. But there's a lot that made it into the anthology. In the end, I pared it down to, also it had to fit. It had to fit in a magazine. I was a little genuinely concerned when I first planned it. I was like, I think this is gonna be like 80 to 90 pages. And then I was in the process of researching and talking to people, and we were like, that's gonna be pushing it. Because from the very beginning, I also knew one very specific thing that I will already tell you about it, because it's also already on the Backer Kit teaser page. The centerfold is going to be a board game. So it was really important for me to have a sized magazine that could be staple bound, so that it could lay flat so you can play. So I pared this down, and in the end, it is 11 things, which is to say 9 new modules, 2 revised previously extended modules, and the second edition revamped original game. So the 2 revised and expanded previously released editions are, of course, Kitchen Kitten Adventures and Meow You See Me. And then the 9 other brand new modules include new forms of magic, new playable characters, and new full settings, which means each of them has a catastrophe table all its own with 6 events each. It's a lot. You could do the math. It's a lot of writing that I'm doing right now. for you to play. So whole new worlds, and they are all internally compatible. And in fact, some of these new modules are specifically designed to plug into other full modules of the game, but I'll explain that more in a second. So I'm not going to tell you in depth about all of the modules that are going to be in the anthology yet, because I want to tell you more about them as I continue to work on and finish all of the modules, including also like letting you know about their art, because another very important thing to me was if there's going to be a second edition, if we're going to do the magazine, then it needs to be fundamentally completely like self-illustrated. No licensed art, nothing, entirely self-illustrated. It took me weeks already to figure out the art style and nail the cover down. But now I'm really happy with it. I'm very excited about all of the art that I have planned and sketched out. So I will tell you the titles of all of the upcoming modules. So we have the second edition of Verhext Nochmal. Then we have Cafe Catastrophes. We have Kitchen Kitten Adventures. I always say it the wrong way around. Kitchen Kitten Adventures. Then we've got Las Patitas Mágicas. We've got Pixel Paws, Verhext in Space, Kitten 8, Meow You See Me, Catnip and Catnaps, Flipped, Low Magic Afternoons, Tiny, and Curses, the board game. So that will be the modules slash adventures, whatever you want to call them, in the game. Yes, I should hope so. In the magazine, in the Anniversary Anthology magazine. So you'll be getting, I did the math, you'll be getting about 18,000 words of game, of playable characters, new magic, prose, and mechanics, settings, a lot. Plus, I'm also doing a lot of art and creative stuff in between each module as well to kind of make it more fun. I mean, it's a magazine. It's not going to be just a book of text. There's going to be the centerfold board game. There's going to be cards for your gameplay. There's going to be illustrated recipes, 2 recipes actually, from moi. To go, for example, after Cafe Catastrophe. So you can live out your own cafe cat not catastrophes. There's also going to be art. I'm looking to make sure that prints are a part of the add-ons and or stretch goals. Details are still being figured out. And as I mentioned in the last YouTube video, if the funding works for it, then 10 to 20-ish, we'll see, of you could actually have a hand-detailed constellation cat poster from me, both designed by me and then hand-detailed to be actually glow-in-the-dark. And that is really fucking cool, if I may say so myself, which this is my video, so I may. So each of them has a very specific point of inspiration, a seed of inspiration, if you will, that I will be elaborating as the backer kit goes on and as the prep to the backer kit also goes on beforehand in little vlogs is what I'm hoping to do and I'm planning to do that are focused on each module. That'll also be pretty organic to film because I'm working on it module to module. So I'm finishing up right now making the second edition of the game. So editing the text that I have currently, adding mechanics, refining, etc. So that's why I thought, okay, then I'll make this first video about the gist of the project and also told you guys a little bit about what to mechanically expect to be added to the game for its second edition, which means next up would be, or will be, Cafe Catastrophes, which I'm so excited about. And I will tell you a little sneak peek is that the adorable cats that run the cat cafe that will be part of the Cafe Catastrophes, or the setting for it, I suppose, are 3 subtypes of kitchen witch: cooking, baking, and barista. And accordingly, they are named Noodle, Donuts, and Mocha. Low-key, this project is also a fantastic excuse to just come up with and name a million cats, which is everyone who can't currently own a cat's dream. However, I will say that some of the cat characters will definitely be inspired by cats that I've had in my life or that I grew up with, because this is also very much a love letter to cats and to the loyalty of pets and the fact that I feel fairly certain that most of mine would have come and saved me if I had been a witch who had messed something up or messed up a spell or, just small things like accidentally ripping a hole in the time-space continuum and swallowing up her house. I think they would have fixed it. I think they certainly could have. I think the would have is the only thing where I wasn't always sure about. I think sometimes they'd be like, so what? This is fine. We can all adapt. It's just like some of you, like weirdly low-key, very chill cats in my life. I feel like because they grew up around a lot of kids, they're just kind of unfazed. So if they would have minded enough to fix it, I don't know. But I definitely think that they could have, even without magic. Final details in this gist video. You will be able to buy it digitally as well. You'll be able to pledge for a digital copy at $10 or 10 euros. I'm putting the backer kit in euros so that it's easier for me to manage. So 10 euros is going to be the price for the digital PDF. As always, that'll come with the illustrated PDF, the plain text PDF for screen readers, and an MP3 audiobook of the game. So that's already just what's in the base. For the digital, then the physical will include all of that, plus a physical copy of it, which will be 20 euros. And then I'm working on poster prints of art that I'm making for this specifically, that I'm very, very excited about. I have so many darling ideas and so many concepts and sketches and things, so I'm trying to prioritize which ones are available in which order, etc. So there's a lot still to be determined, but I'm really excited about it. And then there's still a lot of creative little things in between in the magazine that you will either only see when you get it, or that you will see, like, there's definitely some stuff that's just, you have to get it to see. And then there's some things that I'll reveal a little bit as I continue to work on things and share them with you guys here on YouTube and, of course, like on Backer Kit updates. So please go to the Backer Kit and sign up with your email so you get notified when it launches. I applied to be a part of Pocketopia, which is a crowdfunding event on Backer Kit in May. So we're looking to crowdfund in May. This is my first time crowdfunding by myself, first time crowdfunding ever. This is also my first indie physical release. I released New in Town with +1 XP this January, so this year, but I worked on it all of last year. And that was my first physical release ever. And now I'm doing it all by myself, and I'm trying to make sure that I figure out the ropes and I take the reins and all of the metaphors possible, so that I can know how to do this by myself, and so that I can fulfill all of the creative dreams that I see in my head exactly how I want them in my head. And, I love the number part. I love the logistics part. I love learning this stuff. And I'm very, very lucky because I have some really amazing experienced people in my corner who are taking a lot of their personal time to walk me through a lot of these steps and teach me a lot of the stuff while I try to figure it out. And it's been an absolute lifesaver and godsend. Without them, I absolutely couldn't be doing this. So I'm really grateful. I'm really excited. This is the first of many projects like this, and many projects not like this, where I'm proving concepts now so that they can explode later on. And I have so much planned and in my head already, so I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I can't wait. So head over to the Backer Kit, sign up to be notified for the launch. And keep an eye on it. These magical cats cannot wait to meet you.